we move on. I'm calling Nakul to introduce our student panelist.
Good morning to everyone. I am Nakul Navle, a student of the class 11th. As the spectators know, we have had the experts, in fact, Dr. Sadhana and Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, speak about the education system in the coming years of the future. And I feel it is very important for all to listen out to the little champs, which is our students, about what they feel when they think about education in the future. For this, we have a group of wonderful and remarkable students from the Orchid School and the City International School ready to voice out their opinions and ideas about the concerned topics. I would request the students to come up on stage and join the panel discussion. Natasha Karnekar, Anuya Devkar, Shaunak Kulkarni, Ishani Kulkarni, Swaratha Bharadwaj, Shivam Tripathi, Rishabh Bapat, Abhishek Malavade, Vibha Sharma, and Sanika Joshi. Thank you.
So welcome to the panel, young panelists. And we can begin by giving each panelist around 1 or 2 minutes to voice their thoughts on the ideas that they have and something that they've prepared. And then we can go into a common pool where we have certain questions where any one of you can respond. So it's not like each one has to speak, but if you feel strongly, then you can respond, and we'll have just a ground rule that you just raise your hand if you want to speak, and while you're speaking, the others listen. So taking turns is important, yeah? So can I begin with Narasna Karnekar? I'm going to follow this because that's the, and if you'd like to pass it to the next one, that's also absolutely fine.
I prepared a small one.
Okay. Okay. So then maybe we can begin with you. Yeah. Can you introduce yourself as well?
Sure. Good morning. My name is Shivam Tripathi, and I am studying in class 10. I would just like to start by saying that there's a silent revolution that is sweeping our country. Our country has the largest population of youth, where above 50% of the population is under 25 years of age. We have become a nation of rising aspirants, and this is a great opportunity that we have. We have so much youth, so much potential in our country, and the next 15, 20 years are just gonna go great for us, I feel. While we are unsure of the path that education will become into in the future, I think a couple of changes that could be brought into the education would definitely make it better than what it is today. The first is we could implement and introduce a learning style called experiential learning. We all know experiential learning. It's basically learning by self-experience. And it's probably the best way to learn, because once you experience something, it stays with you for almost ever. Okay, it's as good as when a child is learning how to ride a bicycle. He falls down, he fails, just like ma'am said, and eventually he realizes that I shouldn't be making the same mistakes that I'd made initially, and he learns how to ride the cycle. Experiential learning, of course, is already prevalent in many schools through field trips, but I think the entire country should, all schools, rural, urban, they should get the benefit of experiential learning. For example, in subjects like history, we could visit museums and gram panchayats, which we are already doing, but everyone should be getting this exposure. My second learning style would be that I think is also very, very important, and it has already been talked about by Mrs. Shadna ma'am, and and it requires, it's critical thinking learning, and it requires students to think from different angles and come up with holistic solutions. I believe this is very important as it develops the skill of problem solving in students, which will help in real life situations. And this is very important to build. It basically develops an inquisitive mind in each child so that they can ask, why this, why not that? And that is exactly what we need. In the future, when there will be water crisis, when global warming will be the main concern of the population, we need to be thinking, what else could we do? How could we overcome this problem? And I think that's what this youth should start focusing on. That's what we need to develop, these skills. My last one is something that might not have been talked about, might not be implemented in schools in India. I believe that there should be specialized learning for the talented and the gifted students. Now, while in India we're already so good, I mean, just like Dr. Ganesh Natarajan said, that the average 14-year-old is more superior in terms of intellect than an American 14-year-old. But there are still some in each class that are better off than others. In India, we follow a one-size-fits-all method, where the main focus is to complete the course and to cater to average levels of student ability. I believe that while we are already nurturing and showing extra guidance to those who are weak in certain subjects, I think it's equally important to give those who are excelling or who are better off than most more importance, and this could be done by giving them advanced practice. Not extra practice, I mean advanced practice. Sorry ma'am, I'm taking so much time. I'll just conclude it right now. Right. Where was I? So much. Right, so yeah, these are my 3 learning styles that I believe could help better the future of Indian education and education as a whole. Thank you so much.
Hello audience, while I have you captured here, I'd just like to bring up my main views, points I feel very strongly about in my beliefs that I've written down here. And yeah, bring about an overview of the points that I wish to discuss in reference to Shivam's points as well. He mentions how we use a one-size-fits-all education in India, and I couldn't agree more with him. And I do have a solution that I believe would help, and diversify from this kind of an education. There is I believe when we bring children in for admission, we can have a screening test that will, help, analyze the child and his learning capabilities and how he learns, more importantly. Teach the child the way he wants to be taught. The divisions within standards such as A, B, C, Cobalt, Indigo, Turquoise don't have to be randomized. They can be based on how the children learn, such as they can be 4, audio learners, visual learners, kinesthetic learners, and tactile learners. Based on this, each class can have unique syllabi. And so it will create better students out of them. They'll enjoy their learning experience more. Yeah, but there are a lot of other methods that I'm sure me and my other friends will also highlight. But most important is the people who will put those methods into practice. That is our passionate teachers. Now, while our teachers in our school are very passionate and are very good teachers, it often happens that teachers join the profession out of passion for it and not due for the financial reasons. While this does bring in financial teachers, there are people, passionate teachers, there are people who wish to teach, but the financial backing up is not strong enough for them. I believe that since each school follows a government board, perhaps the government can provide certain benefits to said teachers in the form of toll exemption, buying regular products. Yeah, like toll exemption and kind of benefits. Yeah, benefits that the army people receive that are being provided. So, Yeah, so this was just my overall thing and how I believe we could help teachers and how they could become more passionate about these kind of things. Yes, thank you. That was my speech.
Um, I think Rishabh really touched a chord in the last ideas he gave. I think we have to beseech him to think more in this direction so that he gets a longer time and more space and comes up with a long list of the kind of benefits that teachers can get. Thank you, Rishabh, and thank you, Shivam. I think both of you have raised a few things which all the teachers and educators sitting here, they know that when it comes from students who've thought about it, then it is definitely something that they should actually implement. And I thought that I don't know where Rishabh has heard these words of tactile and kinesthetic and so his mom has helped him with his words. But I'm sure he must have understood what they mean. And so what he's looking forward to is a lot of visual input in the classroom. So teachers should use a lot of media so that most children are not auditory learners. They love an intermix of visual and kinesthetic. So unless teachers do that, which means that they make them do things, they allow them to do things like experiential learning is what Shivam also said. So it's like a roadmap for teachers. And these two young, brilliant boys have put it before us. Thank you very much. In the morning, while I was sitting and listening to the school choir, because I had thought about the questions, but I didn't have time to pen it down before I came here. So I've got these few questions, which I'm just going to read out the questions, and anybody can respond about an idea that comes into your mind, or maybe you've thought about the same question at some other point of time, and so you've got an answer or a solution to some of these questions. So my first question is, what kind of jobs do you foresee for yourself in the next 10 years? Of course, there are still these compartments that we come up with, like we have maybe other friends or friends